Hey guys, I'm back again. Still the 8th. Got an update on the sprocket will be coming today. It's a 51 tooth for this one. Get my gearing a little bit down for the bike, and that'll help when it becomes a people hauler. Whether I put a trike on it or that, I forget what they call that thing that you sit inside. It's like a jeepney back that goes on there, and that way you can have the 4 wheels. Definitely want to get one of those. And morning. But I can't put it on. It would be a good day to put it on, but I can't put it on today because I ordered Loctite. Now, they got these different brands, Loctite, you know, they got these different ones, and it's all Chinese, but I found the actual Loctite brand, and I need blue Loctite, 242 or 243 for sprockets. That's what I've always used. But the problem with it, it's for some reason it's coming out of China. It just notified me on the thing that it's undergoing custom clearance, so it's coming out of China. I don't know why U.S. product on the advertisement it said made in USA, so I don't get that. I don't know. Maybe they just bought a whole bunch, and it's funny how it gets shipped around the world. But the other thing I saw too. All these cargo ships getting stuck off LA in the ports and all that stuff. I don't know. Hear different people talking about it back and forth. You know, some people that work there are saying, "No, we're all working," and the truckers are all working, and some are saying they're deliberately doing this. Another one said it's not really food that's coming in on these ships; it's just products, TVs, cars, things like that. So, don't know yet. Still looking into that one. Anybody has any information or links, you can go ahead and put them in there, and that way we can all look at it, you know. So like I said before, this is the big boys club. It's funny how, you know, I've had this happen to me on a few times where people just said I said something and I'm just done with you, you know. My goodness. Oh my, that just gets me. But people got different stuff they think about. You know, we're not all the same. That's what makes it such a wonderful world. But, you know, I've had people I've known all my life, guys I worked with and stuff, that totally different thoughts than the way I have. Do I hate them? No, of course not. You know, I just don't. It's like some of these fellas here that want to be a girl, you know. I don't hate them, guys. I just don't. It's the same like anyone else. I shy away from troublemakers. We know some that are like that, and you know something, I don't hate them. I absolutely 100% don't hate them. And I talk to them, and I don't have a problem with them. You know, it's just, it seems the folks with the liberal mindset, they're the ones that you really got to watch out for. I saw a video of some woman in the store. She decided to become the police and was actually getting on the phone, but another woman was walking into the store, and she had her camera on, and it even said, you know, this town they were in. It didn't say what town they were in. It was a beautiful sunny day. It looked like it was western area, the way the land was laid out. Could have been California or Arizona, I'm not sure. But it said masks are not required in this place, so I doubt it was California. And the lady was walking in, well, the lady was coming out with a big cart, started screaming at her, "You get your," and she had a mask on, you know, a big like double one. It had like you could see the hospital blue one underneath, and then another big muzzle one on, and she had these big glasses on, and she started screaming at this woman. And the woman's like, "Ma'am, you do what you want, you know." And this woman went ballistic on her. She started screaming and hollering, and it's like, and then when the lady came out, she came out of the place, and she got a good picture of the lady. And when she came out, the whole side of her car had been keyed because she had parked right up in the first row. And we know who did that. That happened to me one time. I was going to a parking. And I had a little beater car. I bought this little Kia Rio Junkster. It was a Junkster. And it was new, but I mean, it was just my work beater. I had the seats taken out for my tools and all that. It was just cheap, economical little car. You know, one of them ones with the 4 on the floor and the 5th under the seat. Kept good care of it, though. And I pulled into a spot. I come into the parking lot. I see the spot. I pulled into it, and the lady pulled up and like blocked me from behind and started screaming at me that I took her spot. And I said, I didn't even see you, lady. There's a spot open. I'm pulling in it. So and she was blocking me, so I couldn't really even get out. And she was in a big SUV, and this was a small spot. She'd had a hard time trying to get in there. Well, I went into the store, and they had the front of the supermarket was up so high, and I'm looking over the top just to watch her. And she sent her daughter, and this girl looked like she was 10, 11 years old. She sent her daughter out and just keyed the whole side of my vehicle. I mean, from one end, from front to back, and just 5 or 6 times, right out in public where everyone could see her. And I got the license plate and of the lady. And I actually talked to the dude that was pushing the carts. He saw her too, and he actually wrote the license plate number down because he's seen what was happening. And so we had the police come out, and they came, real nice guys, and they came out and they took pictures of it like that. They took the license plate, and then the lady the police got a hold of the lady, and they put her daughter up to it. So she was willing to settle to pay for everything. She had money because she was in a beautiful, big, beautiful, like black Lexus SUV, dressed nice. Kid was dressed nice. So I took it down to the dealer, and they said, "Oh, we're going to have to, paint this whole side, And it was a pretty good price. I mean, it was in the thousands. So the lady just went ahead and paid it. I don't know if it's insurance company or whatever, but all I know is I got a check for it. Never did fix it. I didn't care. It was a work beater. So I had a nice pile of cash in my pocket, and I was awarded a little. I kind of awarded myself a little extra. I said, look, I got to take time off of work and all this, and I make this much a day. So it came out all together to about $3,500 that the lady wrote me the check for. But what happened was, even though I completely dropped it, the police didn't drop it because she put a minor up to doing that. And last I heard, when I got a call from the one sergeant from the police, he said that she's got to go to court. And if you'd like to see what happens to her, you should be down there on this date. And I didn't bother. I didn't bother with it. But apparently she got in some more trouble. But that's what these libs do. And I ran into so many of them out in California. I had one buddy that I was talking with a good bit, trying to promote him. But I was trying to get this guy promoted at work. And he would talk about political things and stuff like that. And this was back when Schwarzenegger was in as the governor over there. And I said, he's pretty liberal also. Look at the family he married into and all this stuff. And at the time, he was going through the running around with the maid. And I said, not particularly good looking. And she wasn't, Now maybe when he was goofing around with her, when he had the kid with her, yeah. And you look at the kid, it's his, it's his for sure. But the pictures they showed when it came to light, she wasn't good looking. And I said, yeah, she's Mexican. They get older, they're not so good looking, some of them. And boy, this guy threw a fit and started going on. She's very good looking. You just hate Mexicans. And I said, no, I don't. I don't like the legal ones that come across the border and they go work down at Home Depot for $10 an hour, and they're collecting welfare and food stamps and all this crap on our dime. And that's what California allows them. And we were talking, and that was it. This guy didn't want nothing from me. And he's at work, and he did a good job at his job, and I don't particularly like the liberals, but he did a good job. I'm telling you, he was a good electrician, and he was a good administrator. So I still promoted him, but boy, that guy tried to undercut me every chance he could get. And somebody said, "Oh, you shouldn't have promoted him because look what he's trying to do to you now." And I said, "Well, maybe he's focusing too much on me than his career." and that'll bite him in the end. And you know what happened? It wasn't long after I left, they canned him. I mean, they actually canned him. None of this stuff about giving him time off for this or that, you know, working for the state system. They fired him. So, you know, you can even go too far as a liberal to liberals, you know, when you just get really crazy. But that's how the things are going, though. But it is a beautiful day. We've got some deliveries. I actually have a compressor coming too. You know, I have that little one in the car. The little thing's broke. I got to get a new cigarette adapter for it. And that's great for on the road because I don't like to pull the wheel off and change a tire. I like to just plug it if I can. You know, we've had two flats already where I just plugged them. One of them, I heard it when I got out of the car. I had just hit a nail, and it was kind of right on the corner of the tire. And I told my wife, just go ahead, go over to the bank. And before it even got down on pressure too much, I had a plug in there. I got all the stuff right in the back. I always carried a plug kit. They got all these new different kinds of plugs, but the best one I ever see is the little rope ones. I've plugged up tires my whole life and never really had a problem. This car right here, both back tires have a plug in them because of the construction over at the other house, and those guys and their tricycles drop crap all over the road. So I got flats. A bunch of our neighbors got flats. But the tire that was causing me problem was the right front one with no plug in it. So, but it was a valve. I have valves. I got a whole bunch of extra valves, and I put a little Vaseline on there, and I screwed it back in, and it hasn't lost any pressure at all. These tires hold really well. The car does really good on oil, doesn't use any oil. I keep the AMS oil in it, AMS oil in transmission. I already did my, every 3 years they want you to change all the brake fluid. I couldn't get synthetic brake fluid here, so I just went ahead after 2 years. I don't keep the brake stuff more than 2 years. And these guys put a thing on all the way on the wheel cylinders, in the back and in the front. And it like sucks the stuff out. And the dude, once he turns that machine on with the little things open and the hose on it, I was watching them, they start drawing the fluid out, and it goes into this little clear thing on there, and he's just keeping adding to the top as it goes down. He takes the little sensor thing out, and when it comes out clear, he's done. And I was really impressed. They did a great job on that. It's a lot easier to do it that way instead of the way I always used to do it. But you know, we're keeping the maintenance up on this thing real good. Even though the service was real cheap this last time, it wasn't even $30. But I had the oil in the filter. I had them look everything over. I wanted them to look all the shocks, make sure there was no shocks leaking. And they're really cool. They'll let you walk out there. He had all the wheels off. I thought he was going to rotate them, so I didn't finish watching. Because I told the service manager, you know, rotate the tires, and they didn't do it. He put them right back on, and I had went for a walk, so I didn't see that. But I got underneath and looked it over real good. I didn't see any problems anywhere underneath. You know, we did have that thing coming home on the highway where it started this bad wobble, but it had to be the road, because I took it out on the road again and got her up to speed, got her up to 100 kilometers an hour, and it's just like normal. And even when it was doing that vibrating thing, you could let go of the wheel. It wasn't pulling or anything. No low pressure. The pressure's all real good. I have a good pressure gauge, you know, and it's tough to want to do anything on the laybys here because you can still get hit and run over. And, you know, so we actually got off the highway when I checked it real good. We pulled over. There was a construction thing, so we pulled over behind the K-rails there and got under there with the phone flashlights and stuff, and I was looking everywhere. It got dirty, you know, because it was rainy. And my big towel I had to throw down on the ground wasn't in the car. I'd asked my wife to take a bunch of stuff out, you know, because she carries a lot of stuff in the car. But, you know, my car tools, I don't want those taken out. You know, that should have never been put in the bag with the clothes and stuff. But, yeah, I got a little dirty. But we wiped it off, got in. I still had the plastic from the dealership that went over the seat. They're real good down at the Honda Carmona. The service department there is fantastic. It's kind of a dingy place, but the service department isn't. It's very clean in there. And they seem to do a good job. It's the same guys there since I've been going there, so apparently they got good jobs and they want to keep them. We had a different guy working on it this time. He seemed like he was on low speed, but it was a quiet day there. you know, he was looking at everything real good. So I was happy with that. And they let you go out there if you ask them. I don't just go out there. I just ask them, hey, can I go out there and look at this? I want to look it over myself. You know, I was a mechanic also, and they're like, yeah, sure, go ahead. And, you know, they're fine with that. And while it was up on the lift, and the guy had it up real high on the lift so I could walk under it, and everything looks just great. There's no fluids leaking out of anywhere. There's no wet spots of oil, even just slight seepage. Sometimes it'll look like it's a lot when it's just a tiny bit. But it's a Honda, guys. You know, I did want to get a Mitsubishi L300 with like the Jeepney back. That would have been a great vehicle for us because it's a little truck. We could have hauled stuff. I could have hauled fridges, stoves. I could have hauled anything. We could have moved with it. And we could have made it a camper if we wanted to go to see her sister down in Mindoro. And, you know, we could have just made a bed in there. We stayed there one time, and their beds are like the bamboo. You know, with the little nails in them, and I had a rough time sleeping. Plus the mosquitoes. They have like a Nipah hut house and a dirt floor, and it was just, you know, it's living it. They got the little pumper well outside, and you know, it was really roughing it for me. I didn't sleep good the whole time we were there. And we didn't think to bring a mat, a foam mat or anything to lay on. They did give us like a bamboo weaved mat thing to lay on, and they're just good people. Her sister and the husband and the kids. When we were there, I'd like to see the girl now, but she had a baby the same time about Mumu was born, I think, and she looked just like a little Chinese baby, just cutest little thing. And she wasn't afraid of me at all. I mean, she was, you know, some kids, they see the big beard and all this, and they're a little bit afraid or standoffish. I'm watching Santa Claus, his thing. He just adopted a beautiful little boy, and the kid is shy to him. Now, I haven't watched him. Check out his channel. I haven't watched him for a bit. They're in a thing of moving. He sold his house. So, yeah, I'd like to see how that's going with him. I'll turn him on and watch him here in a little bit. I'll watch 2 or 3 in a row and make some comments to him. He seems like a pretty cool dude, and his brother always comments on there too. You know, so, but check him out while you can. I don't know, his videos might stop for a while because moving's a big thing. You know, you really get busy when they're moving, and he's got a really big house. He did a video where he went through it, and just a super nice place. If I'd had the money, I'd have loved to have bought that place. You know, it was just a fabulous house. Plus, it seemed like he had pretty good neighbors. Nice area. So I hope his new move, I think it's Dingalan. I think he was named Dingalang Dan before. I never watched those ones. I didn't see him till he was Santa Claus. And I think my daughter found him on there because she was looking up Santa Claus, and he popped up. And he's not too far from here, hour or so. But that little one, I want to see if that little kid warmed up to him some. Should be, because he just seems like a big happy fella, you know. So I think that kid will warm up to him pretty quick. It's tough here. I don't know how the adoption goes. I'm really interested in watching that, how things go with them adopting him. You know, I think something happened to the mother, and then the grandparents got him, and they got sick or something. So it's good. It's good to see people like that when you can, to take them in and you know, help him. And I'm sure he's going to give him a pretty good life. I see how he acts with his own little daughter. That it was his wife's, but the way he acts with her, he just treats her like gold. And you fall in love with them, even if they're not of your blood or anything. They become your children, and I love to see that. I love to see that people are willing to do that. I do know a fella. Him and his wife couldn't have babies, and they adopted 3 boys. And they adopted them when these boys were already 7, 8, 9 years old. But they were brothers, and they got all 3 of them. And right after they adopted him, his wife got pregnant with 2, a girl and then a boy. And the youngest was my buddy from work. But his father was just, he loved them all the same. I mean, he gave them the same things. He made sure they had a car. He made sure they went to college. You know, that's what he thought was right for them, and they're all doing really good. Now my buddy, he got cancer and died young. He wasn't even 40 yet when he passed away. But he was a heavy duty chain smoker. I mean, he constantly at work. He never wanted to work on any of the federal jobs because you weren't allowed to smoke while you were working, even though it paid you more money. He always wanted to work the little jobs, so I'd send him out to those little jobs, and he, you know, that's so he could smoke. And you'd see him at work with like 4 packs of smokes in his shirt pockets. He always carried them in his shirt pockets. He used to get these T-shirts with our company logo on them, but he'd have pockets sewn in the front to hold his smokes. And he would go through them. He would go through a couple packs while at work. He'd light one off another. His fingers were super stained. Real thin kid. But I call him kid. He was a year or 2 older than me. But felt bad when I heard that he passed away. And just a bad thing. But when I went to see him, when I first heard he got sick, and his wife said he doesn't want to see anybody, and I said, oh, okay, I can understand that. And then she came out with some pictures, and here they had taken his whole lower jaw away, and he had just like a little blowhole. And she said, that's why he doesn't want to see you. And I said, fair enough. And so I went, but it wasn't long after that he passed away. And he was smoking through his little blowhole. I guess it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I remember I had a uncle that was dying, and they said he was in congenital heart failure, and he liked beer. He just loved it. Hey, I brought him one. I thought, what the heck? They said he's dying anyway, and he wanted a beer, and he asked me to get him one, and I did. I went in to the store, and I grabbed him a couple cans of beer and snuck him in the hospital and gave them to him, and he was happy, and he was dying anyway. You know, did the beer really cut off any time that he had left? Who knows? Maybe it gave him an extra 10 minutes. You never know, because it was something that he really liked. He drank that thing, and he was just, he laid back. But that was one I had to get back. It was pretty far away from my house, the hospital he was in, and I had to get back because I had a family and work. And as soon as I got in the door, they said he had passed away, and that was real sad. He was a real good uncle, but. Them old timers, we're turning into the old timers now, guys. And a lot of these old timers, the ones that I knew in my youth, they're all gone now. They're just memories now. I liked that one on Titanic when the little grandma, they said there's no record of this guy. She's like, no, there wouldn't be, but he's here. He's here, and that's where your people that you love will always be. And just remember that. So this is Rickshaw out.